Mhm. Okay, I'm gonna wait until a few people get up in here. I know last night I was on last night. I was in my pajamas. Did my video last night from my bed because it was like I had to hurry up and get that information out, and I wanted to get it out and talk about what how I got spiritually spanked. Oh my God. Okay, so we're going to talk about the unseen. And we're going to talk about um, the word witch. We're going to talk about the word voodoo. We're going to talk about the word occult. Okay. As we move into the higher frequency of this planet, as well as moving into Aquarian energy, there is going to be a deep awakening of needing to know knowledge. And some of the things that you have either heard or grown up with, or what if you are not aware of what the true meaning of some things are, you're going to start seeking out wanting to know the truth about it. So the word witch, it actually means a wise woman in the countryside who works with nature, who works with elements, who works and is connected with that. So when someone gets freaked out about the word witch, or they label a person a witch, and in the dictionary it will always have something to say about they cast spells and they're evil. No, that isn't correct. A witch is anyone that's connected to the laws of nature and connected to the elements and connected to self and connected to the higher self. And they can be either good or bad, just like a priest can be good or bad, just like a doctor can be good or bad, just like the Vatican could be good or bad. Okay. So when we look at things like that, knowledge is going to be the key power rolling in next year. Knowledge, 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 knowledge. Do you understand where you come from? Do you understand about your belief system that you are in? Do you understand about how religion actually got started? Do you understand about that? Do you understand the history of Democrat and Republican? You see where I'm going with this message? It's all about knowledge. If you do not have the, so just know that. Um, so occult is hidden knowledge. And 90% or more of your Hollywood people, your politicianal people, your even Vatican religion is a cult. And it's hidden knowledge that they sit on that they know, but don't want you to know, don't want you to be connected to it because they know how powerful it is. They know how to take it and manipulate it in a way to get the results that they want from you. Okay. So a lot of people who are spiritualists or metaphysical teachers, light workers, healers, it is our divine wisdom to know both sides of the coin. Because if you don't know both sides of the coin, how are you going to know when something is coming your way and you have to deal with it and you don't know what it is? You can't identify it. Okay. So, knowledge is your power of wisdom to know the balance in between and know that knowledge, that hidden knowledge. knowing the hidden knowledge about numbers. What do they really mean? A lot of people, for example, the number 13, everybody gets all wigged out about Friday the 13th, when in actuality, Friday the 13th is one of the most luckiest days because it deals with Venus and it deals with that sacred number 13, which is sacred to women. Power, creation, manifestation. Think it comes into form. So here's the thing. When we talk about supernatural, or we talk about witchcraft, or we talk about um, those labels, those type of words, go and look up the history of where the words come from. And when you really look at the words of that, then look up words of certain religions, the Christianity, the Catholics, the um, look up all the different belief systems. Know the history of where they come from. Know the history. Know the history. That's just like, for me, I did not know that the Republican Party was started by African Americans. Full on. But a lot of people don't know that. They don't know that. And a lot of people don't know that Democrats was started by the KKK. It was started by that. And they actually took out 150 African American Republicans that put together the Republican. History. But it's hidden knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? This is the time where we have to move into understanding what is right in front of us. Is it really the truth or not of what we're seeing? Knowledge is power. I think I talked about this in one of my other videos, but because we're moving through another phase of some changing energy that's really changing things, it's going to be essential to really know history, to really know where things come from, how it all first got started. You know, a friend and I, we were talking the other day, the swastika, how the Nazis were using that as a symbol of their power and stuff because they knew what it was, but in other people, it was feared. It was looked upon as Nazism and it's looked upon as death. But if you research that symbol, it goes all the way to Africa, it goes to Ethiopia, and it's a symbol for related to that culture. So hiddenly in my mind now, I look at that and I can say to someone who would have that tattooed on them somewhere, and I'm gonna say, "Oh, you from Ethiopia? You from Africa?" I was just saying. I'm saying you have to have that knowledge. Okay, think about it. I want you to think about it. You got to have that knowledge. Um, if you only know just the surface and you go by that, then you really don't know the true foundation of where it came from. All your religions and everything, there's a history of how they became what they are now and how some of them are falling now, especially the Vatican. You know, everyone looks up to the Vatican. That's it, our Catholic way. We look up to the Vatican. I was born and raised Catholic. Yes, I was. All of that. But as I grew and became who I am and had my near death experiences and came back and my illnesses and obtained that wisdom, you start to see things in a different light. And so now I don't see the Vatican as a good thing. I really don't. There's a lot of hidden knowledge there, and there's a lot of hidden things they have done to hurt people. They really have. Look at all the history. You've got to go back and look at the history. And you have to go back and look about a year or so ago or less of some of the things that have come down through the Vatican. Go back and look at some of your movies of Angels and Demons with Tom Hanks in it at that time. That Tom Hanks in it at that time. And look at it from a decoding point of view to understand what is hidden in the movie. There's so many things that play out in front of us that we don't even recognize it as hidden knowledge. You have to, now more than ever, especially if you are a light worker and you're walking around with old messages and belief centers, find out where your belief centers is coming from. What is that energy thought process coming from? Where's it coming from? When did that change for you? When did that become different for you? Find out where your belief came from. Where did it come from? Because most of it is from following what we're told instead of really going through and looking it up and digging and to look and research. And some of the knowledge that you come across will just blow your mind, because then as soon as you get that piece of knowledge, you're going to say, well, then that unhinges this, and then that unhinges that. And the reason why I share this with you is because start learning to look things up. Go beyond the first level of what you know. Go beyond that. But there are some people that don't want to go beyond that because they don't want to know. It scares them to know. So they are the percentage that will stay in the what I call the false truth and never know the truth. The truth shall set you free. You know, there is that part of us that should always be willing to seek the truth. Is this what I believe really real within itself? Is it? Is it truth? Because if you cannot fact check it and get the truth of it, how do you know what you're standing with is your truth? And this is where we are right now as a part of this awakening of our true self. What is your belief center right now telling you? You know, I cannot stress enough of what I've been encountering this year alone. How many people I've worked with and people have finally just said, it just doesn't make sense to me anymore. When we even look at the word witch, here's knowledge. People think when somebody wears too much black, they're a witch. Well, did you know that when you're wearing black, it actually keeps your energy inside you and keeps it protected, and the black actually repels the negativity? Did you know that? Did you also know that most priests, when they're wearing that black, that is to shield them and keep them protected when they're wearing it? Here's some knowledge. Did you know that when they put people in prison, why they have the iron rods in all the prisons over windows and at gateways? I'll tell you why they have it there. They have it there for the simple purpose, not to keep them in, to keep them from breaking out, but it's actually to keep the energy contained so it doesn't go past that iron. They contain it with that. There is not one prison you will find that does not have some iron somewhere on it over something, if it's a doorway or a window, because it's to contain the negative darkness in the building. So think about this. I've had friends that are cops and nurses that work in the prisons. When they walk in, they now become a part of that energy. They become a part of that until they walk out of it. Knowledge. It's the reason why I'm sharing this opportunity time for you to really, if you have a belief of something, you need to research that. Instead of blind faith, taking it for what it is and saying, okay, this is what it represents. No. Take the opportunity time to really look at it and witness it for what it is. And check your truth from your heart. What feels true. My truth is, I don't practice my Catholic ways. I honor those who are Catholic. I honor my mom, but I don't practice it. And I have my personal reasons, and this is my opinion. This is my personal reason. So don't get it twisted. Don't take it personal. This is my personal belief and my reason. I can't support it with the knowledge that they committed harm against so many children and so many innocent nuns that became a part of the system. I can't support that. And this is what I mean by when you research knowledge and you find out what has happened to people and hidden and covered up stuff. Can't support that. I can't. Because then if I support it and I stay with it, that means I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the molestation, the pedophiling that has gone on for years and years and years. And it's finally coming undone. Thank God. Thank God. I can't support that. That's what it means to stand in that wisdom and that knowledge when you know something. That's what it means. And like I said, this is my opinion, my thoughts, my own personal research, what I came across and had enough knowledge to back it up and know. This is not news. This is stuff that's out there. But if you don't know how to decode or you don't recognize it, you don't see it. You don't know where to get the info. Because everything that's fed to us is just a collage. And right now, being who we are and waking up, especially if you're a light worker, you are being put into places and situations and scenarios to go deeper, to go look, to research, find out what your truth is. So I believe in that one creator way, the divine benevolent light that created everything. That's all I need, because that's not going to fail me. A two-leg human being will fail me. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. It's fallible. Because it's human. I will fail people because I'm human. You know, not perfect. Nobody's perfect. But I tell you one source that's perfect, and that's Creator. Whether she or he, or he, God, Goddess, whatever you want to call it, whatever it represents for you. When you look at yourself in the mirror, you are that you came from. Makes you kind of question things, doesn't it? So I got in trouble a lot because I would ask questions. And I would always be sent in the corner, go Hail Mary full of grace, go do your rosary. And I would be like, why am I getting in trouble? Because I'm asking a question. I'm looking up to you to give me an answer. And you won't give me an answer. I have visions. I see dead people walking around. You know what I was told? I was told I was part of a demon or something got on me, and I have to go over and do Hail Marys and all that good stuff. But nobody took the time to say, you're gifted. You live between the worlds. This is the way you were born. I had to get that from indigenous culture setting that goes through my blood. Knowledge is power, and it's a part of awakening. And if you're sitting on the back line and you're got a lot of stuff unhinging around you, trying to get your attention to pay attention to something that's awakening and shaking you, that's what you want to look at. And right now, a lot of stuff is coming unhinged on this planet. Thank goodness, because we have been asleep for too long, following a broken system program that keeps us in prison to the same pattern. Those of you that are waking up, those of you that have big dreams, those of you that want to step out and venture into your truth of who you are, please do that. Please take hold of your dream and do that. Please stop living in fear of wanting to go live that. Please stop trying to analyze how you're going to try to make it happen and just step forward and just do it. Please just do it. And I kept asking Spirit today, what did you want me to talk about? He says, don't worry. When you click on, we'll give you the information. And I'm just getting it like this, images of what I'm supposed to say. And like I said, this is not to hurt anybody's feelings. This is not to make you get upset or anything. Please, I am so sick and tired of people taking everything so personal. Stop it. People need to say what they need to say, because you know what? In that lies, you might need to wake up and check something out. You might need to question something. Here's another thing. When you're healing, you have to have the strong belief to know that you can heal. This is why some of your great philosophers and your great spiritual teachers will say some people heal, some people don't. And it's all because of where is your belief? Because if you're sitting with the belief of, oh, I'm not worthy enough, or I don't deserve it, oh, I don't believe that I'm going to heal. If you're sitting with that, and if that's the energy you're sitting in, that's where you will stay and manifest. Because there's that one governing rule, cosmic rule. You are a creator. Period. And until people grasp that, some people need to step into that and own it and walk with it. You don't feel it. You don't connect to it. It's always going to be something outside of you that you think has to do everything for you, when it's really you joined up with a higher source doing it. So when we look at things and we sit in that place and we only have just part of the picture, part of the history, you need to ask yourself, where did it originally start? Who are the culture or the people that are behind this? How did it all become this? How did it all become this one thing? You know, ask yourself that. Just ask. There is nothing wrong with wanting to know the truth. I think all of us are truth seekers, because we want to make sure that whatever we're doing, however we're walking on this planet, is not a waste of time. that somewhere in between the lining of the light, there's the gift of receiving the bigger outcome. You know, think about it. Think about these things. When something scares you, a word or a belief, before you get all freaked out about it, can you please take the time to go research it? Go research it. Here's a question. Creator, God, Goddess, God, whatever you want to call it, the Omega, the all-seeing, the great mystery, supernatural, right? Doesn't that make it magical? Yes or no? Think about it. That makes it a magical life force being because it's using an unseen force to take something out of nothing and create something. Sounds like magic to me. When we talk about those words, when you hear the word spell, oh, that person's a witch, they're evil, da 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 da. Okay, wait a minute. How do you know they're evil? Did they pull up a demon in front of you out of the ground and show it to you? I'm serious. Think about this. I just want you to think for a moment. Just think. Did they pull it up out of the ground and show it to you? No. When someone says, oh, they cast a spell on me, how do you know? How do you know? Now, there are powerful people out there that can do that stuff. They can. But then there's other people that don't even do that. And there's some people, they don't even themselves know what it represents. And they just call themselves that just to get underneath people's skin, just to freak them out, but to make them feel like they have some power or something of themselves. Sometimes they just do it for fun. But prayer is a form of a spell. And spell simply means speaking something out into the air and allowing it to become manifested. Isn't that what prayer is? You're praying about something that you want it to manifest, which is why it works, which is why it heals, because you are governing it with putting it out there, expecting a result back from it. Yes or no? I'm just saying, yes or no? Isn't that what it is? I'm just saying. I'm hoping I'm waking you up to just take a look at some things. To just kind of ask yourself a question. To really know, you know? And that it's a part of knowledge. And there's nothing wrong with it when you're searching and you're getting the knowledge on it. Please do. And it probably will make you say, "Oh my gosh, I did not know that was happening. I did not know that Massachusetts, or I did not know that Sedona had this, or I did not know Mount Shasta was like this, or I did not know Peru was like this. I did not know the Mayans believed in this. I did not know." Look at all of this. I did not know the Celtics believed in this. I did not know in African culture it was this. Native American culture, their belief. Think about it. because it's all about the unseen and the magic in it that holds it together. It's the glue to the wisdom that is all around us. The magic of everyday life is all around us. I live a magical life 100%. Why not? Because I'll be bored senseless if I wasn't. You live a magical life when you sit back and you think about something and it unfolds and happens. You are a creator being. So the reason why we're having this conversation today is because of the fact that I'm jarring your mind. So if you've been stuck in an old pattern of third dimension, you need to step it up a little bit and get unstuck out of that old pattern belief. Because the foundation of where that old pattern belief comes from is slowly becoming unhinged and dissolved, which means that that old pattern belief energy of where it came from, but it's only partial the truth, is not going to be there anymore. Only the truth of that is going to be there. You know, like I said, I was really shocked to find out a Republican was made of African Americans. It was started by them. And there's so much history of the African American culture that was started here on this grounds of the United States that's been covered up for eons. Nobody talks about it. But those of us that are historians or philosophers or light workers that dig around and look for the truth, it comes to you and it's revealed. And there is nothing more powerful than knowledge. Because I tell you one thing, when you have the knowledge, you're always so many steps ahead of somebody else who didn't do the research, who's only just going along with the program. They're stuck in the matrix, but you got out of the matrix. And now you see it for what it is. And sometimes what you see for what it is, man, it can really hurt. It can really hurt. Some of the stuff, wow, just blows your mind. How some people get away with stuff on this planet and act as though there's no consequences for what they do, especially to children. And I'm so grateful that there's been some people who are actually making these people pay for what they do. Yes. Righting that wrong. Righting that wrong that's been done. There's been so much stuff that's been wrongly done to people on this planet for eons and eons, and it has to stop. And knowledge is the power of that. And for God's sakes, not believe in every single thing you see on the news. Trump says it best, fake news. And he's not lying when he says that. Fake news. Because they're not telling the truth. NEWS stands for Negative Environmental Word Service. NEWS. Doesn't stand for North, East, West, South to me. It stands for Negative Environmental Word Service. Programming. So I want you to really, really think about what I said, what I'm sharing with you. Be a doctor of light of research. Research it out. Knowledge is power. When you buy a car, you have no problem researching if that car is going to be everything that you invest your money into. You have no problem researching if you're going to go move somewhere to find out where you're moving to. But when it comes to the hidden occult knowledge that other people use and hope that you don't find out the power behind it, because if you knew how powerful you were as a spiritual being, that you can change anything like that, could you imagine what our world would be like already? Could you imagine that? When I went to Thunder Valley, and the one thing that was staying in my mind is how were they scanning me for my temperature? And they didn't actually pull out a device to do it. And to know that they already had the technology of a screen that can scan my body and tell them if I had a fever or not from afar. And I wasn't even up to the desk area. That's knowledge. We're moving into that high technology right now. It's here already. And I remember, here's the thing. I remember over about 20 years ago, I was told by one of the elders, and she said it just like this. There's going to come a time when you're going to be watching TV or a movie and you're not going to be able to tell if you're watching a human being or a projection or an artificial being. You're not going to be able to tell the difference between the two, the three, actually. And there was a thing that went on the internet all over the place when stuff was coming undone. I'll put it in that term. And someone and several other people have caught this video when the Pope went up and he was doing a sermon or something. And then when he turned around and went like this, he vanished. And everybody was trying to figure out what happened. He just vanished. Well, come on, people. It was a projection. Go back and look at it. All your movies, like I said, there's hidden information in it. Especially Mission Impossible. They're really good at that. Total Recall, good at that. Time Cop. Somebody finally told me they saw the movie Time Cop. And they were blown away because they can actually see the correlation in that movie playing out right now. Total Recall. They see the correlation in that movie, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and even the newer one with Colin Farrell, how it's playing out and how they're looking at it saying, oh my gosh. You know, the storyline of Mars. And then in the newer one is talking about the shifting of the the poles, how they shift through the gravity through the center core of the earth and how they're able to travel from one top part of the earth into the bottom part of the earth and through that gravity tunnel. You know, there are so many things going on underneath our feet in tunnels. World lies underneath the tunnels everywhere throughout this whole planet, connecting other states and countries together. Tunnels. A lot of things have been happening in those tunnels. Some of them had to be taken down. But once again, that's knowledge. You got to know where that knowledge is. You know? And it's interesting, when you're ready to know the knowledge, when you're ready for a new teacher, the teacher will appear. Or that knowledge will come across your table or whatever. So, I hope this was an eye-opener for you to not stay in a fear factor place on the terminology, on terms of words, and you don't know where it comes from, or you don't know what it represents, or you don't know why it was used in the contents that it's used in. Knowledge is power. And once you get that knowledge, no one can ever take it from you. So get that knowledge. Stay true to self. And just know it's good to have that knowledge, because that's going to be the name of the key, the name of the game from this point out all the way into next year. I want you to pay attention to how things start unfolding. Pay attention to those commercials. What do you see different in commercials? What are they pushing? What's the number one thing you're seeing that's different from a couple of years ago? Yeah, it's happening right in front of your eyes. I actually laugh now, because beforehand, when you don't know about it, you just kind of watching. You're going through the car wash and you're getting your car washed. You don't care about the soap. You don't care about what's being dumped on your car. But then when you kind of go in and you say, wait a minute, what are they putting on my car? What is the combo? What is the combination of that? How much acid is in that wash that's going to take my paint off my car? When you start asking questions like that, you think twice about putting your car through that kind of car wash. You might select a different one. I'm just saying. All right. So this is that part of knowledge that you need to know. And remember, the things I said, this was my own personal opinion. Okay? Do your research. There's a lot of other teachers out there that'll tell you the same thing that I'm saying. Do your research. Okay? Don't go to Shira Star. Shira, Star Goddess, she will scare you. She will make you wake up, and she will make you look and learn. And she is very good at what she does. She's good. Infinite Waters is good. Good at what he said. Wonder Boys, Edge of Wonder Boys is good. There's a lot of teachers out there that have the information that can help you. Wake up. All right, lovelies. Have a good day. Be good to yourself. Thanks for being a part of Be So Light. Thank you for supporting my books. Thank you for going to the webpage and taking a look and booking your appointments with me. Thank you for supporting my life work of what I do. If you need to get in contact with me, just remember 777 AMD lovespirit3@gmail.com and send me that email. Leave a comment on the bottom if it's something that you want to try to research or think about. If I don't have the answer, I'll direct you to somebody that will have the answer. Okay? But the best thing is, become your teacher, become your doctor, become that for yourself, for your family. Knowledge is power. Are you in it to win it? You better be. All right. Have a good day. Be so light.